Hi Sagittarius, welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining me. Also welcome cross watchers. Okay, so this will be a general daily collective messages reading for the sign of Sagittarius. As always, take it how it resonates. Okay, so first one we've got is the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so some of you are dealing with an earth sign, a fellow earth sign. Okay, King of Cups, got water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So there's quite a few energies in this reading. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, Page of Wands. Let's get two more. So you're definitely dealing with a fellow earth sign. Okay, we've got Sagittarius and Aries energy here. We have got Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and then we've got Taurus energy, and again Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Yeah. Okay, got the Lovers, major Gemini energy. That someone here is quite in and out with this Knight of Swords, an in and out sort of energy. Okay, and then we've got another major, Hangman. Yeah, there's quite a few energies in this reading. You could have a new person coming in, a water sign or a King of Pentacles. If that's not the case, then you are dealing with quite a few energies. Or it could be you and your person where they've got the traits of another element. Okay, so we've got the Four of Pentacles, the King of Cups, Eight of Swords, the Hangman, the Lovers, Page of Wands, King of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. It looks like, if it's not you, then it's who you're dealing with, okay? Your person. They could be holding on very tightly to a situation or to someone and refusing to come out of their comfort zone, okay? Someone could be very materialistic, you know, very set in their ways and very greedy. All they think about is money, power, you know? Another way to see this is someone here is quite emotionally withdrawn as well with this King of Cups. I feel that someone here doesn't know what they want, you know, they're all over the place. They're not in balance with their emotions. Could be someone that you're in a twin flame connection with. But someone here needs to make a decision, you know, because the Lovers card is all about choices and decisions here as well. It's like, with this Eight of Swords, somebody's got sort of inner conflict going on, you know. They're scared to take off the blindfold, they don't want to see the reality, they're scared to get cut, they're scared to get burnt, yeah. Now with this Hangman, plus the Eight of Swords, someone here definitely feels stuck in a situation. It could be who you're dealing with, they can't figure out what they want. Someone here is definitely, maybe they're too mature for someone, because you've got this young page here. They don't know what they want, look. It's like they're not communicating. You know, they could have a tiny, a tiny bit of communication, because you've got two fire energies here. You've got Sagittarius. So it's like, you want someone that's mature. Could be an entrepreneur, a business person in charge of your own business, or them, a fellow earth sign. But what I'm picking up here is that someone communicates and then they run away. You know, they could be a little bit immature. They're kind of in and out with this Knight of Swords. Yeah, they don't know what they want. They can't seem to communicate, you know, like properly, clearly what they want. You know? And maybe that's why the Hangman's there, because somebody feels stuck and like they're at a dead end, you know, at a sort of crossroads, if you will. Someone needs to make a decision. They could be meditating, look. Could be fears going on. Someone here definitely needs to make a decision, and there's definitely communication with someone with a closed throat chakra. But I do see this person's got a lot of love for you with this King of Cups. But they could be very emotionally sort of withdrawn, you know, detached from the situation, like refusing to come out of this comfort zone, this Four of Pentacles, you know. Someone here is very materialistic, very money orientated, you know, and quite egotistical here as well. Maybe their career is more important to them. That's what I'm hearing. You know, it's like they give you a bit and then they run away again. You know, I'm getting a sort of backwards and forwards, in and out, in type of energy here. You know, and I do believe this is what's causing an obstacle between you, where they've got a lot of love for you, but they're just so emotionally withdrawn. You know, they're detached. They're not. Somebody here doesn't feel grounded or centered or in balance with their emotions, you know. And blah. I definitely feel that someone here can't openly communicate towards you here, you know, and you could be getting fed up, you could be getting restless, blindfolding yourself, you don't want to see. Maybe somebody here is too proud to ask for help, so they've built a sort of a wall around themselves, you know. Someone here definitely needs to make a decision, you know, figure out what they want. Maybe somebody hasn't got closure from something. Maybe they need to heal from something from their past, you know. Somebody here doesn't like the fact that they're not in charge of their emotions, yeah. They're not in line with their emotions or in line with themselves. Definitely got a closed throat chakra. You've got a very passionate fire sign. Could be someone new coming in. You know. So that'll be another person to deal with here. But, you know, there's definitely going to be sacrifices here. You know, someone needing to make a change. A choice. A decision. Look. Yeah. Now, with this King of Pentacles, this person, it could be you or who you're dealing with, okay? There's definitely someone here that is an entrepreneur, a business person. He's quite grounded, centered. He's very good with finances and money. You know, very focused on his grain, building and manifesting things, you know, growth. You know, so you could be getting a business, you know, proposition from someone here. I definitely feel that there's more than one energy around you here. As I said, there could be someone new coming in. I do feel could be a business proposition or opportunity, something like that. A new earth sign, another earth sign, maybe, of offering you something here. Someone that is more stable and secure, you know. Because with this young page, I do get someone that's quite immature here. Yeah, someone definitely needs to make a choice here, make a decision. Also, I just feel, even though that this King of Cups doesn't openly communicate to you, you know, it's like he wants to. Maybe they see you as a soulmate or a twin flame. They feel empty, they feel emotionally unfulfilled, you know, they're just sitting there with the empty cups. Could be drowning in sorrow, you know. They're just very emotionally detached. It's like they refuse to come out of their comfort zone because somebody here could be afraid to see something, yeah. They're afraid to get cut, they're afraid to get hurt, like I said, you know. Someone here needs to sacrifice something. Why do I feel that there's a new person coming in? Because whoever you're dealing with, they're kind of in and out, in and out, in and out, like that. Because this person down here looks quite passionate, you know? They know what they want. This person, this King of Cups, maybe he doesn't know what he wants. He won't come out of his comfort zone. There could be a bit of communication coming in. If it's not who you're dealing with, and it could be a new person. And then you're going to have to make a choice between two people. That's what I heard from my guides. So whoever you're dealing with is quite emotionally withdrawn and detached. They don't know what they want. Okay? They can't seem to make a decision. And then you could have this new person coming in, look. Yeah? Such as a Taurus or a fire sign, a Sagittarius, okay? And then you're going to have to make a decision between two lovers. Yeah? That's what I'm hearing here as well. So someone's going to have to make a choice, a sacrifice. Do you want the old person? Or do you want this new person? Because as I said, there's quite a few energies in this reading. You know, I feel that you've been dealing with this water sign for a long time. You know? But there's definitely, you know, wow. I just feel someone here is going to have to make a decision, a sacrifice. That best suits them, you know, that's better for everybody. Yeah? Because with this Eight of Swords, this is what's making someone feel restricted, bound, trapped. They can't see straight. Yeah, they feel like they're at a dead end with this Hangman. Yeah? Maybe you yourself feel, you know, empty and unfulfilled in this situation, or who you're dealing with here. But there's definitely going to be a sacrifice here. You know? Someone that's going to have to make a choice. A decision between two people. Two lovers. I keep hearing, with this Page of Wands, it's really talking to me, yeah. I keep hearing here, something to do with a career opportunity or a business proposition. You yourself could be a business person. You could be dealing with a fellow earth sign. I feel that you just want someone that knows what they want and that is grounded and is centered and is stable and secure. You know, water signs can be very emotional, you know. They're not good with feelings. Yeah. Someone here is very, very materialistic, money orientated, and they like to be in their power sort of thing, and refusing to come out of a comfort zone, you know, refusing to let something go. But as I said, there is definitely going to be a choice here between two lovers, a choice that's needed, a sacrifice that's going to have to happen, that's best for everybody. Because with this Eight of Swords, you know, as I said, someone doesn't want to see something, so they're blindfolded, you know. Could be reading their subconscious mind. Yeah. Maybe someone feels that they can't be themselves, you know, in this situation, or who you're dealing with, you know. They feel restricted. You know, it's like you can leave anytime you want, but maybe someone's refusing to budge, you know, with that Four of Pentacles. They're very set in their ways, you know. Yeah. But the outcome, as for the outcome, I see a sacrifice that's going to have to be made between multiple choices and two people, two lovers. That's what I see. So best of luck. So that's what I've got for you today from my guides and the universe. I hope it resonated, I hope it helped. Hope it was insightful. Let me know in the comment section.